What's up, guys? Brian here from the Ride Your Money Wave podcast, where we talk about becoming wealthy through three things: personal finance, entrepreneurship, and overall life and career success. I'm in the process of changing formats and taking that podcast and bringing it onto YouTube so we can attract a broader and younger audience who I think really needs to learn this information about personal finance and how to use that in order to become wealthy. So do me a favor, actually do yourself a favor, and that is hit that subscribe button below so that every time you log on to YouTube, new relevant information about personal finance is landing right on your homepage. Go ahead, do it, do it, do it. Okay, good. All right, so what I want to talk to you about today is why you should have a Roth IRA. This is an incredibly powerful retirement account. So powerful, in fact, that when my cousin turned 18 years old, I drove over to his house. He lives about 45 minutes away, woke him up, took him out to breakfast, explained why he needed one of these things, and sat down and opened up a Roth IRA with him on his 18th birthday. Fast forward 10 years later, I had him on the podcast. I was shocked to find out that planting that seed in his youth is already yielding some amazing fruit. He has $120,000 of investable assets. And he is like textbook, example of what I've been saying to my students for many years. That if you plant that seed, if you start investing while you're young and you start caring about your money will you'll have a great relationship with it, and you'll have more money than you know what to do with. So at 28 years old, already having over $120,000 of investable assets, he is doing fantastic. And that's what I want you to do as well. So let's talk about why the Roth IRA is such an important and powerful investing account that you should have. First of all, if you are over the age of 18 and you have employment, then you need a Roth IRA. One of the biggest benefactors of a Roth IRA is that it gives you tax-free retirement income. So the money that's in your wallet, the money that's in your paycheck, the money that's in your checking account, you have already paid taxes on this. And you can use that money to invest up to $6,000 per year in a Roth IRA. So this is fantastic for young and lower income investors because you are paying low taxes right now. You're probably in the 10 to 15% tax bracket. And so you can lock in that retirement income at that tax bracket. So let's say you're in college or maybe fresh out of college and you're making, let's say $40,000. Okay, when all is said and done, you're probably going to be paying about 15% taxes on that. You pay the 15% tax, you invest in your Roth IRA, and then fast forward 40 years when you go to retire, you're going to be at a higher tax bracket because you're going to be making more money. And when you pull that money out, every single penny in your Roth IRA is yours to keep. That is not true with a traditional IRA. That's not true with a 401k, with a 457. You have to pay taxes on that. So if you have two different accounts, let's say a 401k and a Roth IRA, and they both have $1 million, you get every single penny of that Roth IRA. But the 401k, you still have to pay taxes on it. So it's incredibly important to have a to have a Roth IRA, especially in your youth, because it's an opportunity to lock in lower taxes today for your retirement income in the future. As I mentioned, you can contribute up to $6,000 per year. Now, when you're starting off, that is a lot of money. $6,000 to a high school senior or someone in college, that might be a large majority of what they make in an entire year. Now, I'm not saying that you need to max out a Roth IRA every single year while you're in high school or college. That'd be incredibly difficult. What I want you to do is when you open up that Roth IRA, this is very important. When you open up that Roth IRA, I want you to contribute an amount that scares you. So if I have $5,000 in my, let's say, checking account of cash liquid savings, and I'm looking to start investing, maybe I put like $1,500 or $2,000 of that money into my Roth IRA. That is a large chunk of money, and that's a large percentage of the amount of money that I'm worth. And so if that amount of money gives me pause, if that amount of money makes me scared, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000, that's, whew, I'm really uncomfortable with that. That is the right amount of money. And the reason being is because it's so large that you're going to check on it. You're going to look at it. You're going to check in on it, see how it's doing. It's going to be on your mind. It's going to be on your radar. And that is huge. If I started saying, all right, well, let me open up this account with $50. I can spend $50 and not really care. It's not going to change anything. But if I say, let me open up this account and put $2,000 in, suddenly, my ears perk up. Suddenly I'm going to care about that $2,000 because it's like, okay, well, what's it invested in? How's it doing? And what happens is that you adjust to that lower number in your checking account, and you start to realize that you have an additional option when it comes to spending money. Now it's not, can I afford, those pair of jeans? The answer is, should I even buy them because I know that I could invest that money instead? So it gives you a second option. It gives you a reason for saving. So, number one, if you're 18 and you have a job, you should open up a Roth IRA. Do yourself a favor. It's tax-free retirement money. You've already paid taxes on it. You're saving yourself future taxes. Number two, you can contribute up to $6,000 per year. That is a lot of money. And you're probably not going to be hitting those numbers when you're in high school or college. But when you get out of college, it is part of your whole financial plan that you should have. One of the other reasons why you need to open up a Roth IRA starting at the age of 18 is because if you become so successful, the government actually prevents you from contributing to it. So for example, if you are single and you make over $139,000, the government actually says, stop, you make too much money. We don't want you to take advantage of this account. And so you can no longer contribute to it. And if you're married and you make over $206,000, I have my little cheat sheet there, but if you make over $206,000 of modified adjusted gross income, then they cancel you and they say, hey, you can't contribute to your Roth IRA this year. Now, that's a great problem to have, first of all, right? Talk about first world problems. And there are some ways around it, but I'm going to let you talk that through with your accountant. There's a backdoor conversion. You have to do it all at once. It takes a couple steps. There's a couple extra pieces of paperwork that need to be done. Talk to your accountant about it and have them walk you through it. But the main point is that if you make too much money, then they actually prevent you from contributing to your Roth IRA. And this is really important, especially if you plan on going into a high income, high paying, job field. So for example, I have another cousin who graduated from law school, landed at a top firm, and by the age of 25, he was outside of the parameters of a Roth IRA. So he only had from 18 to 25 in order to invest. So if you plan on going into a high income field, then your runway is a lot shorter than everyone else's, which is another reason why you should open up a Roth IRA starting at the age of 18. Reason number 4 is that a Roth IRA also serves as a last-ditch emergency fund. Now, I am not a fan of taking out any money out of your retirement accounts. I have a saying that if you can't see it, you can't spend it. So when that money goes into retirement, that is solely for retirement. It is not for me to buy a house. It's not for me to buy a new car or anything like that. It is solely for retirement. But we are in some crazy times right now. We are dealing with the coronavirus and we are quarantined. And so, if need be, you can actually withdraw any deposit that you have put into your Roth IRA. You can withdraw it tax-free, penalty-free, starting after 5 years. So let's say you contribute $5,000 a year for 5 years for a total of $25,000, and it grows to $30,000 by year number 6. You can withdraw the original $25,000. Well, let me take that back. You can withdraw the original $5,000. You could withdraw $5,000 a year for 5 years, tax-free, penalty-free. And this is the only type of account that allows you to do this very easily. Now, there's a lot of paperwork that goes along if you want to kind of do some backdoor withdrawals with other accounts. But by and large, if you look at a 401k or a traditional IRA or anything like that, if you want to pull money out, you have to pay taxes plus a 10% penalty fee. So I am not a fan of paying any fees that you don't have to, but with a Roth IRA, you can withdraw that money tax-free, penalty-free, as long as it's been in there for 5 years. So this serves as a last-ditch emergency fund. Some other key characteristics about a Roth IRA is that you can finally access the totality of your account at the age of 59 and a half, and there is no minimum required withdrawals. A lot of other accounts make you start pulling your money out starting at the age of 70 and a half because they have been waiting that long to collect taxes. Well, with a Roth IRA, you have already paid those taxes. And so you don't have to pull that money out. In fact, you can leave it in your estate and in your trust, and you can pass it on to future generations. Now, we actually just passed a law that changes this a little bit. That generation has to deplete that within 10 years. Maybe our next president will change that, who knows. But the main idea is that you can set up a financial legacy for the next generation and generations beyond. So let's recap here. Number 1, 18 with a job, open up a Roth IRA. It's tax-free retirement money. You are locking in your low taxes today, and as you earn more money and retire, withdrawing a very comfortable standard of living, I would say, if you play your cards right, you can actually pull out $200,000, $300,000 a year in your retirement, and you can pull some of that money out of your Roth IRA and you don't have to pay taxes on it. Okay, that's huge. That's awesome. Number 2 is you can invest in the entire stock market. So unlike a 401k that has a plan that your boss gives you and says, here's your 10 or 12 or 15 investing options, you can invest in any aspect of any stock market through your Roth IRA. We actually didn't mention that earlier, but that is super important. It serves as an emergency fund, and we also said that you can withdraw tax-free, penalty-free, start it today, as long as it's been in there for 5 years, and then fully starting at the age of 59 and a half. So I'm going to let you do your research, but what I will say about the Roth IRA, like I will say about anything, is make sure that you are not paying high management fees so that your money goes to work for you. We're going to leave it at that. Take care. Use this information. Become your own financial advisor. Care about your money more than anyone else. And use this money as a tool so that you can go out there and go live your best life. Take care.